The European Union will insist Boris Johnson must still compromise if he hopes to secure a Brexit deal in the coming months. Brussels sources said Michel Barnier has enough flexibility in the mandate handed to him by member states to conclude a post-Brexit trade and security agreement. Diplomats insisted the Prime Minister would still have to offer a number of concessions on controls over subsidies to business and future fishing opportunities in British waters. One EU diplomat said, "A compromise takes two to tango, and Michel Barnier has enough flexibility in his mandate to explore different options with London." It comes after Mr. Johnson insisted the EU would have to make a fundamental change in its approach. The Prime Minister said the bloc would have to come to us if it wants to agree a deal, in line with Downing Street's plan for a Canada-style free trade agreement. Mr. Johnson said, "From the outset we were totally clear we wanted nothing more complicated than a Canada-style relationship based on friendship and free trade. To judge by the latest EU summit in Brussels, that won't work for our EU partners. They want the continued ability to control our legislative freedom, our fisheries, in a way that is completely unacceptable to an independent country. Since we have only 10 weeks until the end of the transition period on January 1, I have to make a judgment about the likely outcome and get us ready." Given that they've refused to negotiate seriously for much of the last few months, and given that this summit appears explicitly to rule out a Canada-style deal, I've concluded we should get ready for January 1 with arrangements that are more like Australia's, based on simple principles of global free trade. We can do it. Because we always knew there would be change on January 1 whatever type of relationship we had, and so now is the time for our businesses to get ready and for our hauliers to get ready, for travelers to get ready. And of course we are willing to discuss the practicalities with our friends where a lot of progress has already been made, by the way, on such issues as social security and aviation, UK cooperation and so on. But for whatever reason it is clear from the summit that after 45 years of membership they are not willing, unless there is some fundamental change of approach, to offer this country the same terms as Canada. EU negotiators will travel to London next week to pick up the Brexit talks. Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said, "The EU continues to work for a deal, but not at any price." As planned, our negotiation team will go to London next week to intensify these negotiations. Mr. Barnier last night vowed to intensify the negotiations after EU leaders said they were concerned with the recent progress.